So now we must install Django. And before we can install Django, we need to install something called Pip. Pip is a Python package installer. It's a very useful tool. You use it for all types of things related to Python, and Django happens to be a package of Python. So packages are basically code that was written by somebody else that they put out there that you can use. Somebody else or a group of people. In this case, Django is by a group of people. So let's install pip and then we will install Django. So we have to do sudo easy install pip. So sudo is basically saying like a super command. So it requires that you are the administrator of your computer. And then easy install is a built-in Mac function. It's a Unix function, so it actually would work in a Linux computer as well. And then pip. So pip is that Python package installer. That's just the universal name for it. So press enter. It's likely going to ask you for your code, so you just type it in, and then you will see all this stuff happen, and it's going to install it. So we can try sudo pip install Django equals to 1.5.4. In this case, that's what we're going to be using. But when you go through the projects, you can work through with Django 1.5.4, but it's likely that it might be a different version, and that's okay. So press enter, and then now it's going to be downloading Django. Okay, so now that it's installed Django, you should see pretty much all of this stuff here. It's likely that you won't have Django already on your system and stuff like that. So now that Django is installed, we can check to see that Django is installed by typing Python, and then we'll go import Django, lowercase Django, and then we'll type out Django dot, in all uppercase, type out version, and it will tell you what version your system is currently using. Cool. So that means it's there. If Django's not there, like if I do import Django 2, it's going to say no module named Django 2, or in your case, if Django's not installed, it will say no module named Django. So to exit Python, we just type out exit with the parentheses. That will bring us back to the terminal. As you see, the three little open brackets there are what indicates that it's in Python, whereas just the $sign indicates that we are back in the regular terminal. Okay, so now we're going to actually do our first Django project. We're actually going to delete it after we do it, because in the actual projects or the classes you'll see and actually do this again. So we'll do Django admin.py, start project, test project. Alright, so if we do an ls, it's going to list out everything, and this is where you are initially logged into. So it lists you out. You see desktop downloads, and then you see test project over here. That's what we just created. So if we do a cd, so change directory, test project, directory is another word for folder, so change directory into test project. Okay, and then if we just do a python manage.py run server, it's going to go through some stuff, and we can just grab this URL here, jump into Chrome, paste it, and it worked. Cool. Looks like we have it installed, which that was pretty easy. So Django is now installed. We can delete that test project. So open up your Finder window, and you might have to go into your preferences and show hard disks on your Finder window down here, so you can see everything that's going on. And then we go to users, and we go to our current user, which is coding, and then that test project, I'm just going to drag that into the trash can and delete it. Alright, now we don't always want to actually have it stored where we did, because if you open a new one and we list it out, it's going to constantly be storing things there. So we want to just every time I'm just going to default to changing to desktop, and you can do that same thing, Django admin.py, start project, test project, and this will actually show that project up on your desktop. So if I move things around a little bit, it will show you that project. And we see some Python files in here. We'll get into those another time, but that is a project up and working. Okay, so now we're going to install a few more things, and we will do that in separate videos coming up. All right, see you then.